After platinuming The Last of Us, I noticed there were a few trophies that you should watch out for, so I thought I would go over some of these trophies that you should keep an eye out for when playing through the game. Quick disclaimer, all the footage that you're watching is from the remastered version. Unfortunately, I don't have the money to buy the same game for the third time. Small YouTuber problems, right? Anyway, to quickly recap, The Last of Us takes place in the post-apocalyptic world of the US, where you play as Joel Miller, a cargo smuggler that has been given a very specific task. I'm sure you know how the story goes anyway, since it's already 10 years old, so let's just go straight to the trophies. It's good to know that whether you're playing the remastered version or the next gen version part 1, there are a few minor differences in trophies. Luckily, the majority does overlap with one another, yet there are a few that aren't present in part 1. This means part 1 is going to take less time and is a lot easier. I'd rank the remastered version at about a 6 out of 10 and part 1 at a 2 out of 10. And it's going to take you upwards of 60 hours to platinum the remastered version, whilst only 20 hours for part 1. This is also very noticeable when you look at the platinum percentage. The remastered version is 0.4%, whilst part 1 is at 6.2%. This is because the remastered version will require you to play through the game twice, and at least once on the hardest difficulty, Survivor. Whereas part 1 is only one playthrough, it will require you to play through the Left Behind DLC that's included, which has a separate trophy list on the remastered version and therefore isn't required for the Platinum trophy. What is required, however, and isn't even included in part 1, is the multiplayer mode, where you will have to play quite a bit of it to reach the required trophies. Luckily, it seems to be fairly alive in 2023, so I'd say hop on this as soon as possible, especially with the hype around the HBO adaptation before they inevitably shut down the servers in the future. But let's start with the remastered only trophies, so that will be the difficulty and multiplayer related trophies. You will have to play on the Survivor difficulty, and it will be tough because you'll have to be even more stealthily than before. Ammo and resources will be very scarce and you'll have to be very aware of when and even if you use your weapons. My best tip for this therefore would be to avoid as many encounters as possible. Violence is not always the best option and you can often just silently walk past enemies, avoiding them altogether. And there are also multiplayer trophies. The multiplayer is actually quite a lot of fun. I thought it would be a real slog, but it turned out to be alright. It's not very easy to get into and understand straight away, but after 3 or 4 rounds you'll understand the basics of it. You don't need to win any specific games or kill a specific amount of people, all you need to do is play a game. You'll have to choose between 2 factions, and play each one until you reach 12 weeks for the trophy. Each match you play counts as 1 day, and you'll have to grow your clan. You'll reach the 40 clan people mark throughout this journey anyway, but a good way to skip days is to leave a match you started. This can really speed up the process, just make sure to never let your clan fully die. You can do this every 2 or 3 matches. Of the 3 game modes, you only need to win supply raid and survivor matches to earn yourself another trophy. If you are going for the 100% trophy list, then you'll need to do the interrogation as well, and win a round on every map. To be honest, the multiplayer is fun enough, and it's a great way to warm up for the upcoming Last of Us multiplayer game. The next gen part 1 trophies has the same trophies as the remastered version. However, this one includes the prequel DLC Left Behind as part of the main game. This will require you to play through the 2 or 3 hour story to unlock this trophy. Both games will have the same collectibles, and there are a lot of them, 141 to be exact. Conversations, jokes with Ellie, shiv doors, comics and artifacts, tools, training manuals are all part of the collection. The tools and training manuals are basically upgrades and are hard to miss. You'll encounter them easily in your playthrough, but if you do happen to miss any, they do carry over between save files, so you can do this on a second playthrough or even via chapter select. The jokes and conversations, I believe, do not carry on through saves, but these are a little harder to stumble across naturally, so you'd have to do these ones anyway. I'd refer to a guide when checking this out. The shiv doors is probably the hardest collectible, that's why it's often said you have to have a full shiv on you at all times, because it's required to open the 13 doors needed for the trophy. And although shivs can be crafted, you'll want to try and avoid using them on clickers or any other encounters to have one ready for the next collectible. The remaining collectibles are a lot easier. Firefly pendants and comics do carry over through saves and are a lot easier to spot. Sometimes you'll need to shoot one down out of a tree, for example, and this can require a bullet, bottle or brick, so keep that in mind if you're doing this on a harder difficulty. Other trophies are for miscellaneous tasks that contain minor spoilers, so I suggest looking these up after completing the game. You might have even done a few of them naturally. Naughty Dog really has created one of the best single player games of all time with The Last of Us. It's so carefully crafted with incredible attention to detail. The level design is great, the graphics are stunning, and the gameplay is satisfying. The trophy hunting on this game is really fun. If you've only watched the HBO show or are going into this for the first time, you're in for a big treat. If you've finished the game and going for the platinum, then good luck. It's a lot of fun and one of my favorite platinum trophies of all time. I really wish I could enjoy this for the first time again. And if you've already platinumed it, congratulations! You should check out this other video I made about the trophies on The Last of Us Part 2 to continue the story. And that's it for now. See ya!